What's going on, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks? Thank you guys for stopping by today. Today's video, I'm gonna do some ribs. I do ribs all the time. However, I'm gonna introduce a couple of new products. One is a rub, which is this Texas Select barbecue rub. This is pork and chicken rub. This is a competition series. Now this rub is a rub that I use often. However, I've never used it by itself. I always use it in conjunction with a couple of other rubs in competitions. But they've taken this rub, the company did, and they kind of refined it some. And in my opinion, it's actually better than it was before. So I'm going to try this just on some ribs, or I'm going to try it by itself on some ribs, and I'll probably throw some chicken on there since it goes for both, and I want to try it out. But we're going to use that rub. I got a rack of spare ribs that I'm probably going to leave them whole and just trim up just a little bit. And then just a couple of leg quarters I'm going to throw on there again, just to taste that rub on the chicken. However, the other thing that I'm going to introduce today is something that I just got in. Let me turn this around real quick. The fine folks at Adrenaline Barbecue were nice enough to send me a Slow N Sear. Many of you have actually asked about the Slow N Sear and when I was going to get one and all that. And you know, I was put in contact with them, and they were nice enough to send me one. So I have it here. We're going to use this for the very first time. If you followed me for a while, you know that I've always used my Smokinator. I got a really good feeling this is going to replace that without a doubt. And we're going to use this for the very first time today. And since it is the first time, I will go over the instructions, talking to the owner. The way that this operates really makes you kind of alter your cooking style, your cooking methods a little bit. So I want to make sure I read the instructions and make sure I got it down pat. And you know, some of you might be interested in knowing, you know, how this operates, how to start it up and whatnot. Because when I looked over this, there's actually some pretty interesting information in there. So we're going to introduce this today. And before we do, you know, I'll make sure to go over the instructions. In fact, why don't we just do it now? So these are the instructions here. And, you know, it tells you to, let's see, when you're filling it up, you know, don't fill it with hot water. I mean, don't fill it with cold water. Fill it with hot water. When you're starting it, you look here. It says place your chimney starter cube or something similar to it near one corner of the Slow N Sear and light it. And add a dozen briquettes on top of the starter cube with the briquettes tucked fairly tight in the corner. So I'm gonna follow the instructions to a T to this. We'll get it lit up. I'll put the starter cube in a corner here, and I'll put some unlit coals on top. Once all those coals catch, then I'm gonna come back and fill it in with some more unlit coals. And we'll use that minion method where it'll just burn real slowly, you know, all the way down. When you fill it with water, it tells you to fill it with hot water and not cold water, which makes sense. Which is here. So add 1 quart of hot water to the reservoir. Fill opposite from the burning coals. So if I'm gonna put my fire here, started here, I'm gonna pour my water on this end when I'm filling it up, which kind of makes sense also. You don't want to pour it right over here and then have it, you know, maybe spill into the coals that are lit and put them out. So I'll light them, and once they get like this, then I'll come in and add the rest of my coals on top. I'm going to use some wood chunks. I'll show you what I'm using for the wood in just a second. But I'm really excited to finally be able to get to use this Slow N Sear. Like I said, I've got a feeling that this is going to completely change the game for me, and my Smokinator won't be used anymore. I've seen tons of reviews of this thing. Everything's positive. I can't wait to try it. So I'm gonna get these ribs trimmed up. I'll show you what wood I'm gonna use in just a second. and we'll get the ribs trimmed up, seasoned up. Same with the chicken, and then we'll get to cooking. All right, so I got the ribs trimmed up here. I did go ahead and season them up. Just trimmed off the edges a little bit, and then removed that brisket bone up top. So we're gonna let this sweat out for just a bit. I did remove the membrane on the back also and season the back. The wood that I'm gonna use is this here. One of my followers, Stuart Harold, sent me some of these chunks, and these are actually parts of a barrel that they would age whiskey in, and he was able to get some, send me some. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna put one chunk of this on there. I'm only gonna go with one chunk because I'm not sure how strong it is, so I don't want to overpower the meat in case it is really strong. So I'm gonna go with one chunk of this here for the smoke. Again, this is part of a barrel that they distilled the whiskey in. So this will be my first time trying this. I've been wanting to get around to using this. Now I can do it. I have my Slow N Sear firing up. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to season up the chicken. I don't think that you guys really need to see that, but I'll show you what it looks like after I season it up. That's it. Let me go see how this fire is going. Right, so on my Slow N Sear here, I got the charcoal briquettes in there. I actually have you can see the flame down here, a starter cube underneath. So we're going to let these burn down, and once they ash over, I'll come back in and add the rest of the charcoal, and then we'll fill the water reservoir with hot water once that's done. And we're going to see how this bad boy works. Like I said, I'm really excited to try this. I love the fact that it has the water reservoir in there. Part of the other instructions in lighting this is the bottom vents will be halfway open. The top vent is going to be completely open. Once we start to get closer to the temp, around the 170 mark, 180 mark, I'm going to shut the bottom vents all the way down and just crack them barely open. And then I'm going to put the top vent halfway open. And that's how we're going to run this bad boy. So once these get ready to go, like I said, I'll add the rest of them and we'll get this cooker underway. I got the ribs on, got the chicken on, got my great thermometer here to read the great temperature. So that's how it's set up. We're going to close this bad boy. Bottom vents are almost completely closed. Top vent will stay just slightly open. And then we'll just let it cook. So I'll pick back up probably about an hour, see what it looks like. One other thing, this Texas weather is absolutely crazy. All of this that you see here, all of this, the whole backyard, the whole deck, not even 24 hours ago, less than 24 hours ago, looked just like this. And now it's an absolutely beautiful sunny day. It's crazy Texas weather, man. It's unbelievable. All right, so this is what the chicken looks like. The chicken is done also, so there's a nice little color on there. You know, it's a little dark. Oh, I did add some sauce to it, and you know, put it back on for about 15 minutes just to let it set. But that's what it looks like. We'll cut into it and give it a taste. All right, selfie cam mode here. It's that chicken. Ooh, it's so hot. Give it a taste. It's actually really good. You know what I wish I would have done? I wish I would have left one of the legs unsauced so I could taste the rub just on the chicken. Because I'm definitely picking up the sauce that I used. But it's pretty good. Again, I mean, this video is mainly about the ribs, but I'm gonna throw some chicken on there. Why not include in the video a little bit? So anyway, the chicken was good. I like it on chicken. Well, the ribs are still cooking. We'll see how those turn out. And I am gonna wrap them, but I'm not gonna add anything to the wrap. I'm not gonna put any sugar, you know, brown sugar, butter, or, you know, honey, anything like that. Straight wrap it. Maybe a little bit of apple cider vinegar, just to give it a little bit of liquid to steam. But that's it. So when when I'm ready to wrap, I'll pick back up and show you guys that part. All right, the ribs have been on for a couple of hours. I pulled them off and I just sprayed it with some apple cider vinegar. That's it. So I'm gonna wrap these up, get them back on the pit, let them go for another hour, and we'll see how they turn out. So getting some pullback already. So we're gonna wrap these up, like I said, and get them back on for about another hour, and I'll pick back up then. All right, these have been going for just about an hour. I did sauce them just now, so I'm gonna let them sit here for about 15 minutes. Try to let that sauce set. We're getting some great pullback. They're really tender. I probed them already, so temperature-wise they're there, but more importantly, tender-wise they're there. So we're gonna let this sauce set, and we'll pull them out, take them inside, let them rest, and then get to tasting them. All right, these ribs are done. I did baste them a little bit with the juice that was in the foil. That's why they got that shine to them right now. So the sauce is set. They've got great color. I'm gonna let these rest for about 10-15 minutes because they're still really hot. I just pulled them off the pit. But this is what they're looking like. So we're gonna let them rest for a bit, and then we'll cut into them. But I'm really liking this color on these ribs. Just turn around here. I think they got great color. All right, let's cut into these bad boys. I'm just gonna start at the end here. I'm not gonna cut the whole rack up. I think I'm just gonna cut one rib for now. I don't want the whole rack to dry out just yet. Yeah, so we'll take this one here. All right, so here is the rib. This thing is huge. You can tell it still has moisture in there. And guess, you see that? Right there in the corner, you see who's waiting for a taste. But anyway, that's the rib here. Still has some moisture in it. Nice smoke ring also. Look at that. Let's give it a taste test. All right, selfie cam mode again. Let's give this rib a bite. That's a big ass rib. Salud. Nice bite. The rib is a good rib. The tenderness is on point. It's got plenty of moisture in it still. Nice color. I will say I'm a little bit, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a little bit let down by that rub. I thought that it would be, because I have used it often, but like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, that I use it in conjunction with other rubs. I've never used it by itself. And in doing that, it's always been like a really good rub. So I'm a little let down in that I was expecting a lot more from it just by itself on these ribs. Now it's good on the ribs, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting it to really like pop and make me go wow, and it didn't do that. Again, you know, it's not bad, it's good, but I got to be honest with you, I'm a little let down by it. I thought it would be a lot more flavorful on its own, but overall it's still a really good cook. The rub is still a really good rub. You know, I wouldn't use it by itself again like that on pork or on chicken, but I'm also not going to throw this rack away. I mean, you know, they're good, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I was just expecting a little more pop. I know they take the company that made this rub took this rub and really enhanced it some, and when I tasted it out of the bottle, I can taste that enhancement, the changes that they made to it. But by itself on the pork, my mind just isn't blown like I thought it would be. I just got to be honest with you guys. So anyway, that's this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. I would really, really, truly appreciate it. And again, thank you guys for all your support. I cannot do this without each and every single one of you. I love every one of you. You all are amazing. Thank you so much, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks. I will see you guys next time. Take care.